Welcome again, Maxim here, and today we are gonna talk about the best places to farm specific resources. I will mention most of them, except the rare ones. They will be described in the next video. In the previous material I presented what you should know before you start farming. Considering how many available places there are to do so, I will add a bunch of information that will help you decide which specific mission to go on. Let's start with the fact that on each planet you can get at least 4 resources. They can be in various combinations, for example 1 common, 2 uncommons and 1 rare, or common and uncommon and 2 rares, or even none of rares. It is important to be well aware of what a given planet has to offer and how often it can drop. We can check it by zooming in on the planet and pointing the cursor at the extractor icons. If you see Nightwave there instead of it, click on the button below to switch it to resource drones. And about frequency of these resources, usually after one 5-minute mission, we already know what we will get in a given sector often, less often, and what will require greatest luck. When choosing a place to farm, we should also check whether we need one specific resource or maybe several of them at the same time. Let's take a look at alloy plate, for example. Common resource. It can be found on Jupiter, Sedna, Ceres, Phobos, Pluto and Venus. Depending on whether we need this one only or other resources as well, it's worth checking what all these planets have to offer. But remember, not everywhere alloy plate drops commonly. When you visit Jupiter or Sedna, you will see this resource less often comparing to other sectors. We can choose the best place for farming in terms of a specific resource or a given sector. Let's start by presenting the best places to farm specific resources. If you remember previous material, you know which faction is the best to farm, if you have a choice. And certainly you have it when it comes to common resources. So we are looking for grineer sector. Alloy plate occurs, among others, on Ceres and Sedna. However, on Sedna, like I already mentioned, it is not a commonly dropping resource. So, if we only need alloy plate, we should head for survival on Ceres, Draco. That's the case for a team game. Yet what if someone wants to farm solo? We know from previous video that solo is better on dark sectors. But what if I told you there's a better option? I tried the extermination on Ceres, Palace. Here is a comparison with the dark sector there, Gabi. It is better to go extermination, during which we desecrate dead bodies of enemies and open every locker, container or other resource holder. I did both missions for 5 minutes and this is the case with almost every sector. The best method of solo farming is extermination with the addition of opening and destroying everything on the map. Materials presented in this video are without any kind of booster. Next resource is Ferrite. It can be found on Earth, Mercury, Neptune and in the Void. Here we have to think for a moment, because grineer survival is neither on Mercury nor on Earth. On Earth this type of mission does not occur, while on Mercury there is only infested variant. This one isn't too bad, but the Orkim faction will be a way better choice. The best option for Ferrite is survival in the Void, mod. Solo, I recommend extermination TESAP, with destroying containers and opening lockers. Next we have Nano spores, occurring on Saturn, Neptune, Ares and Deimos. Based on knowledge of factions, it seems that the best option will be to go on survival on Saturn, Titan. There is, however, an exception to this rule. On Ares we will find one unique mission, infested Salvage, Estrus. With some small manipulations, we are able to influence the mission to such an extent when farming nanospores there is the best option. The best team will be 2 Necroses, Cora and Speed Nova. Speed on 4th ability is obtained by reducing the power strength below 100%. However, even in a team of 2, Cora plus Necros, we will be able to achieve satisfactory results. When we have our team gathered, all we need is a specific map, the one I'm presenting you right now. If you started a mission and have other location, abort mission and start again, because there is a much better mob spawn on this one here. Once you've hit the right spot, Cora makes 2 strangle domes in the center of the map, Necros desecrates bodies, and Nova regularly speeds up mobs. Our objective is to play 1 round. Initially, don't load any points. We start charging point A before it decays under 10% of its health to keep it alive and slowly decode shipping manifest. At the end of the mission, it will be around 50% of its health again. We can leave it uncharged for a while to extend the mission, but we can't let it destroy itself completely. Properly carried out mission will last about 10 to 12 minutes. We leave after the first round and start again to avoid appearance of buffing mobs. In solo mode, this mission is the best option too. It is an exception to the rule with solo exterminations. The last common resource is Salvage. We can find it on Jupiter, Mars, Sedna and Kuva Fortress. The best farming spot is survival on the fortress, Taveuni. But if you don't have access to this location, you need to look for alternatives. Quite a nice option, but definitely more difficult, is the Disruption Olympus and Excavation Augustus on Mars. One Cora will have a problem covering all spawns, so I would recommend team of 2 Coras and 1 Necros minimum. The fourth person could be the second Necros, Atlas, Ivara or Speednova. However, there are also calmer missions with comparable potential for salvage farming, survival on Jupiter's dark sector, Cameria, and regular survival on Sedna, Selkie. On solo missions you can go Extermination Carpo on Jupiter. Now, let's move on to uncommon resources. First one is Rubedo, occurring on Earth, Phobos, Europe, Pluto and Sedna. The best spot to farm it is survival on Sedna, Selkie. When it comes to solo missions, I recommend Crossfire on Europe, Armaros. Also good results you will have on mobile defense on Earth, Eurasia. As always, creating additional loot with Warframe plus opening and destroying all containers. Next ones are circuits, available on Ceres, Venus and the Kuva Fortress. As a team, it's the best to go survival on Ceres, Draco. Solo, head to the Kuva Fortress Extermination, Decata. If you don't have access to this location, you will get similar results on Palace on Ceres. Now Plastids. They can be found on Phobos, Saturn, Uranus, Eris and Pluto. Farming in a team, survival Ophelia on Uranus, or invested salvage on Eris, Istris. It will be a good option for solo mode too. Or on extermination on Uranus, Puck. Last basic uncommon resource is Polymer Bundle. You can find it on Venus, Mercury and Uranus. The best team results can be achieved on survival on Uranus, Ophelia. On solo runs we can head to the extermination on Uranus, again Puck. It is time for the second part of uncommon resources. They are related to a specific faction or unit. Oxium is an example of such type, dropping almost exclusively from Oxium corpus drones. It can be also found in any container on any mission, but chances for that are so small that you will probably forget about this fact before it happens. When it comes to farming, it's the best to go on defense on Jupiter, Io. This mission can also be a good place to farm hexenon. However, I managed to find a more efficient place. It is a survival on Jupiter, Cameria. If you need both of them, defense will be the best for that. But if you need only hexenon, I recommend survival. However, you must position yourself in a specific place. It has to be a specific starting location and one of the side rooms, as you can see in video right now. And by the way, if you get this starting location on grineer maps, stay on it, start killing mobs, and it will pay off. Next resource I will talk about is Cryotic. We can find it only on excavation missions. There is nothing complicated here. We defend a digging tower, powered it up, and when the dig is completed, we get Cryotic. Okay, now let's summarize what we've already learned. This is the list of resources presented so far, common and uncommon, in relation to the location for their optimal farming, both in the team and solo. In case you want to farm several resources at the same time, a list of the best missions in a given sector can be pretty useful. Check in navigation what given sector has to offer and then compare it with the table you see right now. Going further, there are also railjack related resources that can be obtained on normal non-railjack missions. I mean Carbides and cubic diodes. We can get them from Eximus units in specific locations. Carbides from grineer factory sectors, mainly on Ceres. Cubic diodes from Eximus in Corpus Icy locations, mainly Europe. A good way to get these resources is, for example, survival played for more than 20 minutes. Eximus units spawn way more often after that time. You can also farm on arbitration in these locations, or take advantage of the fact that sometimes you have an Eximus stronghold in the sortie missions. Alternatively, these resources will drop anyway during Void Fissures missions. It is easier to find Eximus units there than on regular missions. They can also be found in other sectors, but which of them will drop is random. Once in one mission I had diodes and carbides from the same type of unit. These resources are also available on railjack missions. There are two more resources, Copernics and Pastorals. They could be obtained in similar way, but for now they are withdrawn resources. Let's move on to research-related resources. Basic 3 is a Detonite ampule, a fieldron sample, and a mutagen sample. Unlike the most of other resources, they aren't stored in any larger containers. They have to be obtained from killed enemies, so survival will usually be the best option. The Detonite ampule can be found on Mercury, Earth, Lua, Ceres, Saturn, Uranus, Sedna, and the Kuva Fortress. The fieldron sample occurs on Venus, Mars, Neptune, Pluto, and Europe. And the mutagen sample can drop on Deimos and Eris. These three resources can be used to build Detonite injector, fieldron, and mutagen mass, from blueprints available in a grineer, corpus, and infested labs. Other resources for research are, for instance, anti-serum injector fragment, essential to create anti-serum injector for infested salvage, scintilla, which is made from the blueprint in the Tenno lab, and pigments, which we discover by killing specific mobs and which are used to develop new colors for the dojo. We can come across navigational resources, such as nav coordinates. We get them from lockers and containers, on practically every mission. There are also animo beacons accessible after hacking destroyed ambules. They can appear every few minutes in the larger locations, mainly on Pluto and Venus, thanks to which we will have access to the boss on Pluto. In similar way, we gain access to boss on Sedna for judgment points that we get after winning in one of the arenas. This group also includes cryptographic alu that can be obtained from killing enemies on Archwing missions when Razorback appears. Best place to farm them is Archwing Mobile Defense on Neptune, Salacia. The last are Omega isotopes from killed mobs in the sector where Formorian spawns. Here, the best will be survival mission. At last, I want to mention a few special resources that we cannot farm with standard methods, due to their availability. The Javlok capacitor drops from prosecutors who may appear, for instance, on extermination in grineer factor sectors. This is a stronger version of Guardsman unit, something like Eximus. Nitine extract is available in Nightwave, from Gold Purge, cyclical event on Cetus, or from additional caches on Extermination or Sabotage. Orokin Cipher can be obtained by opening special chambers on Deimos, best Extermination. To do this, you need one of 4 Dragon Keys. All team members can wear one of them, or one player can wear all 4 on himself. Their blueprints are available in the dojo, in Orokin Lab, and to build them you need Void Traces, which you will get from Void Fissures missions. Somatic fibers can be obtained from the militia units from Disruption on Lua. Vitus Essence can be found on Arbitration, dropping from destroyed drones, or as a completed rotation reward. And Steel Essence, we can get it by completing the Steel Path, doing special missions where this resource is a reward, plus it drops from acolytes appearing on Steel Path missions from time to time. There will be separate videos about the rest of the special resources, such as Endo or Kuva. And that's all in this video. Next one will be about rare resources, where and how to farm them. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments. See you next time. Bye.